At least 13 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza Strip. Palestinian officials said 6 women and 4 children were among the dead, along with 3 commanders of the militant group Islamic Jihad. Another 20 people were injured. Powerful explosions were heard throughout Gaza City and Rafah in the south of the Gaza Strip, causing panic among residents. In a statement, the Al-Quds Brigade, the military wing of Islamic Jihad, said resistance to Israel would continue. The death in Israel custody of an Islamic Jihad hunger striker last week was followed by firing of hundreds of rockets from Gaza into Israel. Let's speak now to the BBC's Middle East correspondent, Yolande Nell. What more can you tell us about this, Yolande?
Well, the Israeli military started this wave of airstrikes at around 2 o'clock in the morning local time. It said that these were precise strikes and that they were carried out to target what it said was recent aggression by the Islamic Jihad militant group, and that 3 of its leaders were killed, as well as a number of weapons manufacturing sites targeted. Now, of those 3 leaders who were killed, it says that one of them was responsible for Islamic Jihad operations in the occupied West Bank, although he was based in Gaza, and the other, it said, was responsible for a lot of the rocket fire that we've seen coming out of the Gaza Strip in the past month, both last week in response to the death of the Palestinian prisoner in Israeli jail who was on hunger strike. He was a member of Islamic Jihad himself, and there was also rocket fire during the Islamic holy month of Ramadan following an Israeli raid on Al-Aqsa Mosque. Now, from health officials in Gaza, we understand that at least 13 people have been killed, that 4 of the dead were men, including these 3 leaders. There was also a dentist, a civilian, who lived close to one of them, who was killed. And the remainder of the dead are the wives and children of those men. The funerals are now taking place, and Israel is really bracing itself for some kind of retaliation, with Islamic Jihad saying it will avenge its leaders and actually saying that it scorns all the efforts of mediators at this point.
Yes, it's often the funeral processions, isn't it, where the violence can erupt from, isn't it? And Israel has been saying that it's expecting several days of fighting.
That's the indication that's coming out from senior Israeli officials. And you look at some of the preparations that have been made, calling up army reservists. They have told Israeli citizens who live close to the Gaza Strip that all schools are cancelled, that they should prepare to stay close to bomb shelters until at least Wednesday evening. Really, we have seen repeated small-scale confrontations in the past few weeks, but also over the past year. The fear is that this could escalate quickly, particularly if Hamas, the militant group which governs Gaza, decides that it wants to get involved and add to the rocket fire. There was actually a threat from an Israeli cabinet minister talking to one of the radio stations here a short time ago, where he said if Hamas decides to do that, then its leaders could also be subject to what Israel calls targeted assassinations.
OK, thank you very much for now. That's Yolande Nell for us there live in Jerusalem on those latest Israeli airstrikes.